All right, so you've got this giant stack of research papers, right?
Yeah.
And this fast approaching deadline.
Mhm.
And AI is like whispering these promises of making everything more efficient.
Right.
But how do you actually know which of these AI tools are all hype and which ones are going to be like truly transformative for your research?
Yeah,
So that's what we're going to be diving deep into today.
exactly.
The world of AI-powered literature reviews.
Yeah,
We're going to be looking at some tools that can like revolutionize your research process.
absolutely. And it's such a timely deep dive.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing just this surge of interest in these tools, and for good reason. They
Yeah.
have the potential to streamline workflows,
Right.
accelerate discoveries,
Yeah.
and maybe even challenge how we think about research itself.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little. We're
Yeah.
basically talking about using AI to help us make sense of this ever-expanding universe of scientific literature. Right.
Right.
But before we go and jump into all the, fancy new tools,
Yeah.
can you give us a little bit of context on like the traditional ways of doing a literature review?
Of course.
For those of us who might be a little bit rusty on our research methodology.
Absolutely. The traditional approach often involves what we call a narrative review,
Okay.
where the researcher essentially tells a story weaving together findings from different studies to try to create this like cohesive narrative.
Right.
But it can be quite subjective
Okay.
and limited by the author's perspective.
So it's kind of like writing a history of all the research, but with like a little personal bias maybe creeping in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have meta-analysis, which takes a more statistical approach.
Okay.
It combines data from multiple studies to identify overall trends.
Hmm.
But while it is more objective,
Yeah.
meta-analysis can be super time-consuming
Oh, right.
and statistically complex.
Right. So both methods have their pros and their cons, but they both sound pretty labor intensive.
Yeah,
Which is where these AI-powered tools come in, right?
exactly.
They're promising to speed up the whole process, make it more efficient, and maybe even help us uncover insights that we might have just like missed with the traditional methods.
Precisely. And one tool that's making huge waves right now is our discovery.
Okay.
Imagine having this personalized feed of relevant papers
Wow.
delivered straight to you, constantly updating as new research comes out.
That sounds like a researcher's dream come true.
Right.
No more endless scrolling through, search results hoping to stumble upon that perfect paper.
Exactly. Our discovery uses AI to analyze your research interests and then curate a tailored feed of papers that match your specific needs.
Oh,
And the more you interact with the platform, the smarter it gets.
So it's like you're building your own like personalized research journal.
Right.
The more you interact, the more the tool understands your little niche.
Yeah,
And I've heard it's even got like a mobile app,
it does.
so you can stay updated on all the latest research wherever you are.
Yeah,
That's got to be a game changer for all those researchers always on the go.
it is. Think of it like having a personal research assistant right in your pocket,
Wow.
constantly scanning for those new discoveries relevant to you.
Okay, so that's our discovery.
Mm-hmm.
What about making connections between different papers, though?
Yeah.
I remember spending hours and hours during my PhD just manually trying to trace those links between papers.
Right.
It was like I was putting together a giant puzzle, but I didn't have the picture on the box.
It's a common struggle and one that Research Rabbit is designed to solve.
Okay.
This tool allows you to visually map the relationships between research papers.
Oh, wow.
So you can see how ideas have evolved over time
Cool.
and how different studies connect to one another.
So it's doing more than just like listing citations, right?
Yes.
It's actually going in and analyzing like the content of the papers to figure out those connections.
It does. You start by feeding it a few what they call seed papers,
Okay.
key studies in your area.
Right.
And then Research Rabbit uses AI to analyze those papers, identify related studies, and then map out the connections.
So it creates like a visual network of the knowledge.
It does. What's fascinating is that it doesn't just focus on direct citations.
Interesting.
It can also identify those conceptual links,
Oh, wow.
papers that might not directly cite each other but share very similar ideas or methodologies.
So Research Rabbit could help us understand the broader intellectual landscape of a whole field
All right.
and maybe reveal connections that we would have totally missed with a traditional literature review.
It's really powerful,
Yeah.
especially for researchers who are trying to identify emerging trends or synthesize information from lots of different disciplines.
And I bet the visual output is super helpful.
It is. You can just see at a glance which papers are central to the field, which ones are more on the periphery,
Right.
and how different research clusters connect to each other.
Okay, I'm sold.
All right.
But let's talk about actually getting into the content of these papers now.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there staring at this mountain of PDFs, knowing we need to extract the key insights, but just feeling completely overwhelmed by how much information there is.
That's where SciSpace comes in.
Oh, okay.
This tool offers a truly unique capability.
Okay.
It can extract key insights from those scientific papers without you even having to open the PDF.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Are you telling me I can get, like, the gist of a paper without actually having to read the whole thing?
Yes.
I'm intrigued, but also a little skeptical.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
It's pretty remarkable. You can just input a research question,
Okay.
a paper title, or even just a sentence describing your interest. And SciSpace will analyze this vast database of scientific literature,
Wow.
identify relevant papers, and extract those key insights for you.
So it does all the hard work for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It generates various summaries, including what they call a TLDR, that's too long, didn't read,
Oh, right.
which gives you the essence of the paper in just a few sentences.
So SciSpace could essentially help us, like, cut through all the noise and get to the heart of the matter quickly.
It can.
I can definitely see how that would be valuable for researchers
Yeah.
who are, like, pressed for time
Yeah.
or need to quickly grasp, like, the key findings from a bunch of studies.
Absolutely.
But what about understanding, like, the nuances, the details of the research?
Yeah.
Does SciSpace give any, like, deeper level of analysis?
It does. In addition to the TLDR, SciSpace generates summaries of the abstract introduction methods results
Oh, wow.
and even limitations of each paper.
That's impressive.
It also highlights key terms and provides links to related research. And here's where it gets really interesting. SciSpace also has this co-pilot function.
Okay.
So imagine you've read a quick summary of a paper and then a follow-up question pops into your head.
Yeah.
You can actually ask SciSpace that question.
Wow.
And it will pull information from all those analyzed papers to give you an answer.
That's wild. It's like having a research partner who's read every single paper ever published and can just instantly recall all the important details. I'm starting to see how these AI tools could really change, like, the whole research landscape.
Yeah.
It's not just about making the process faster.
Right.
It's like opening up these whole new possibilities, new ways of even thinking about research itself.
It is. Imagine this SciSpace could democratize access to complex research.
Okay.
So busy professionals, policymakers, even journalists could grasp those key findings
Wow.
without needing a PhD. What implications does that have for scientific communication?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
If we could make scientific knowledge more accessible, more digestible for, like, a wider audience, that could have a huge impact on everything from public policy to personal decision-making.
Absolutely.
It's like we're breaking down the walls of this, like, ivory tower
Right.
and inviting everyone into the world of scientific discovery.
Exactly. And this brings us to another powerful tool that's changing the game, ChatGPT. While it's a more general-purpose AI with a little priming, it can become this incredibly helpful research assistant.
I've heard a lot about ChatGPT, but to be honest, I haven't really figured out how it could be useful for research.
Yeah.
It seems more like a tool for writing creative content
Right.
or having these, like, fun conversations with a chatbot.
It can certainly do those things,
Yeah?
but its capabilities go way beyond that.
Okay.
For example, you can give ChatGPT a research paper and then ask it to summarize the key findings,
Okay.
identify the research gaps, or even generate potential hypotheses for future studies.
So instead of just passively reading a paper,
Yeah.
we can actually engage with it more interactively.
Right.
Ask questions, probe for deeper insights, and even challenge the author's conclusions.
You can, and by creating specific profiles within ChatGPT, you can tailor its responses even more to your specific research area.
So it's like having a custom-designed research assistant
It is.
who understands your field and speaks your language. Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here.
Yeah.
But what about getting quick, concise answers to, like, really specific research questions? Is there an AI tool for that?
There is. Consensus specializes in giving evidence-based answers to your research questions,
Okay.
with percentages indicating the level of agreement among scientists.
So consensus can help us cut through all that misinformation out there
It can.
and get straight to, like, what the science actually says. That's a powerful tool for anyone who's trying to navigate that complex world of research.
Yeah.
Whether you're a seasoned scientist or just someone who's curious.
It is. And as we just keep generating more and more research,
Right.
tools like consensus will become even more important
Yeah.
for helping us make sense of this giant and ever-expanding body of scientific knowledge.
Speaking of making sense of knowledge,
Yeah.
let's talk about actually writing research papers.
Right.
I mean, even with all these cool tools for finding and analyzing research,
Yeah.
the actual act of writing can still be really daunting.
Absolutely.
So is there an AI tool that can help with that?
There is, and it's called Jenni.ai.
Okay.
This clever tool is designed to assist with AI-powered writing for research papers, reports, and other communications.
So instead of staring at a blank page,
Yeah.
we can use Jenni.ai to help us get those words flowing.
Exactly. It can help you generate introductions, conclusions,
Wow.
even opposing arguments.
Right.
Imagine that AI helping you think critically
That's why.
and consider different viewpoints. And of course, it can assist with general writing tasks like summarizing information
Right.
and improving the clarity and flow of your text.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
Right.
But tell me more about this opposing argument function.
Yeah.
How does that actually work?
Let's say you've made a statement in your paper.
Okay.
You can actually tell Jenni.ai, write an opposing argument to this claim,
Really?
and it'll do just that.
Wow.
It analyzes your statement, considers alternative perspectives, and then generates a counterargument, complete with supporting evidence from the research.
So it's like having a built-in debate partner,
It is.
right, in your writing software.
Exactly.
That's incredible. But let's say I'm working on a paper where I need to use a specific writing style or tone.
Mm-hmm.
Can Jenni.ai adapt to that?
Absolutely. It can emulate various writing styles and tones.
Oh, wow.
From formal and academic to more casual and conversational.
Okay.
So whether you're writing for a prestigious scientific journal
Yeah.
or a blog post for a wider audience,
Right.
Jenni.ai can help you hit the right note.
And of course, it can help us with the bane of every researcher's existence.
Yes.
Citations.
That's right. Jenni.ai has a cite function that allows you to just easily add citations
Oh, nice.
for any claim or argument it comes up with.
No more scrambling to find the right reference.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here.
Yeah.
From personalized research feeds to AI writing assistants.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like these tools could totally revolutionize every single stage of the research process. But I have to ask, where does the human researcher fit into all of this?
That's the crucial question. And I think it's super important to remember that AI is a tool,
Okay.
a very powerful tool,
Right.
but still just a tool.
Yeah.
The human researcher is still the driver,
Mm-hmm.
the one who sets the research agenda, asks the questions, interprets the results,
Right.
and ultimately decides how to use these tools to advance our knowledge and understanding.
So it's not about AI replacing researchers,
Right.
but about AI empowering them,
Exactly.
augmenting their capabilities,
Mhm.
and letting them focus on those higher level tasks.
Precisely. Think of it this way. AI can handle the heavy lifting.
Okay.
The tasks that are super time-consuming and often really tedious,
Like what?
like searching for relevant papers,
Yeah.
extracting key insights, and even generating those first drafts.
So it frees up the researcher to focus on.
The more creative and intellectually stimulating aspects of research, like
Mhm.
developing hypotheses, designing experiments, and interpreting the results in a meaningful way.
It's like AI is taking care of all the logistics.
Yeah.
So the researcher can focus on the big picture,
Right.
the big questions, the breakthroughs that could actually change the world.
Exactly. But as AI starts to take on more of these routine tasks, what does that mean for the skills and knowledge that researchers need to develop?
Right. Will we need to become more tech savvy?
Absolutely. Understanding how these tools work, how to use them effectively, and how to critically evaluate their outputs.
Yeah.
Those are going to be essential skills for researchers moving forward.
So it's not just about technical proficiency.
Right.
It's also about developing this deeper understanding of the ethical implications of using AI.
Yeah.
Like the potential biases that can sneak into algorithms.
Right.
And the need for human oversight and critical thinking.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance,
Mm-hmm.
the right synergy between human ingenuity and artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And I truly believe that this collaboration, this partnership between humans and AI, has the potential to unlock incredible discoveries
Wow.
and push the boundaries of human knowledge further than we've ever gone before.
Okay. I'm feeling inspired.
Good.
But before we get too carried away with these visions of an AI-powered scientific utopia,
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the potential, pitfalls, the things we need to be mindful of as we embrace these powerful tools.
That's a crucial point. As with any new technology,
Yeah.
there are risks, and we need to be aware of them to use these tools responsibly.
Right. So what are some things we should watch out for?
One concern is the potential for over-reliance on AI.
Okay.
We can't let these tools become crutches that prevent us from thinking critically
Right.
and engaging deeply with the material. We still need to read the papers.
Yeah.
Think about the methodology, question the conclusions, and consider the broader context. AI can be a fantastic tool for speeding up research,
Right.
but it cannot replace the human element of critical thinking and intellectual curiosity.
It's like just because you have a fancy new calculator
Yeah.
doesn't mean you no longer need to understand math.
That a perfect analogy, and this brings up another important point, the importance of training and education.
Oh.
If we want researchers to use these AI tools effectively,
Yeah.
we need to give them the knowledge and skills to do so.
So you're talking about courses on AI, ethics,
Yes.
data literacy,
Mm-hmm.
critical evaluation of AI output.
Exactly. We need to integrate these concepts into research training programs
Right.
at both the undergraduate and graduate levels.
Yeah.
We need to empower researchers to be savvy consumers
Hmm.
and responsible users of this AI technology.
And honestly, I think it goes beyond just researchers.
I agree.
These are skills that everyone needs today
Mhm.
when AI is becoming more and more integrated into our lives.
Couldn't agree more. AI literacy is becoming fundamental for the 21st century.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground,
Yeah.
from the mind-blowing potential of AI to the potential pitfalls we need to watch out for. But I think there's one more big question.
Okay.
What does the future hold for AI in research?
Mm-hmm.
What are your predictions?
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I'd be a very rich woman.
Right.
But I can say that the pace of innovation in AI is just astonishing.
Yeah.
Just in the past few years, we've seen huge advancements in natural language processing, machine learning, and data analysis.
Right.
And there's no sign of it slowing down.
So we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Exactly. I think we're on the verge of a major transformation in how we do research.
Yeah.
AI will play a more and more central role in every stage of the process.
Okay.
From generating hypotheses to designing experiments, analyzing data, and sharing findings.
So what does that mean for the future of scientific discovery?
Yeah.
Will AI lead to an explosion of new knowledge, a golden age of breakthroughs?
It's definitely possible, but it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. The future of AI in research will depend on the choices we make today.
So it's not just about developing the technology,
Right.
but also about shaping the ethical framework,
Exactly.
the guidelines, the policies that will govern how it's used.
Precisely. We need to have these thoughtful conversations
Yeah.
about the implications of AI for research,
Right.
for science, for society as a whole.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that AI is used to advance knowledge and benefit humanity, not to make existing inequalities worse or undermine the values of scientific integrity and rigor.
Okay. I'm feeling both inspired and a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads with one path leading to this amazing future,
Right.
but also some potential wrong turns that we need to avoid.
That's a great way to put it. We're in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
We have this opportunity to shape the future of AI in research and make sure it's used for good for everyone.
So what can our listeners do to be part of this conversation, to help shape this future?
Well, first and foremost, stay informed.
Yep.
Read about the latest developments in AI,
Mm-hmm.
attend conferences and workshops, engage in discussions online.
Yeah.
The more we understand about AI, both its potential and its limitations,
Right.
the better we'll be able to make good decisions about how to use it.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
To challenge assumptions, to think critically about the role of AI in research.
Exactly. We need diverse perspectives, voices from all different disciplines and backgrounds,
Right.
to make sure AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone.
This is a conversation that needs to involve everyone,
It does.
not just scientists and tech people.
Absolutely. We need ethicists, philosophers,
Right.
policymakers,
Right.
artists, everyone.
Wow, okay. I'm feeling a renewed sense of purpose.
Good.
It's like we're all part of this giant experiment,
Yeah.
figuring out how to navigate this new world of AI-powered research with the potential to unlock these incredible discoveries and shape a brighter future.
It is, and it's an adventure that I'm so thrilled to be a part of.
Me too.
Yeah.
But you know what? All this talk about the future has made me realize something.
What's that?
We're already living in the future.
We are.
These AI tools are here right now.
They are.
They're changing how we do research.
Mm-hmm.
And they're only going to get more powerful and more common in the years to come.
That's a great point. The future isn't some distant horizon.
Right.
It's unfolding all around us right now in every lab, every classroom, every research library.
So what does that mean for researchers today?
Yeah.
The ones listening to this right now,
Mm-hmm.
eager to use the power of AI, but also mindful of everything we've talked about.
Right.
What advice would you give them?
Well, I would say first and foremost, don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Try out these tools,
Right.
see how they can improve your research workflow,
Yeah.
and share your experiences with others.
It's all about learning by doing,
It is.
figuring out what works, what doesn't, and what we need to be careful about.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to reach out to experts. Ask questions and collaborate. This is a new frontier,
Yeah.
and we're all learning together.
That's such a good point. Collaboration is key.
It is.
Not just between researchers and AI,
Right.
but between researchers themselves.
Absolutely.
We need to share our knowledge, our insights, our best practices, so we can figure out this new terrain together
Yeah.
and use the power of AI for good.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't just about efficiency or productivity. It's about expanding the boundaries of human knowledge, unlocking new discoveries, and ultimately creating a better world for all.
It's really amazing to think about, like, how much potential AI has to speed up scientific progress and help us understand the world even better.
It really is. And I think what's especially exciting is how these AI tools are kind of making us rethink what research even is.
You've mentioned that.
Well, traditionally, research has been seen as this very linear process, right? You start with a question, you dive into all the literature, you design a study, gather your data, analyze it, and then you come up with your conclusion.
Right, the classic scientific method.
Exactly. Tried and true. But with these AI tools that can, like, summarize tons of research, map out the connections between studies, and even generate hypotheses,
Wow.
the lines start to get a bit blurry.
So are you saying AI could take over certain steps in the research process?
Potentially, yes, but it's not just a simple takeover.
Okay.
It's not about AI replacing researchers, but more about augmenting their capabilities, making them way more efficient, and letting them focus on the tasks that need those uniquely human skills.
Okay, I'm starting to see what you mean. Instead of spending hours and hours reading every single paper, researchers could use AI to get, like, a quick overview of what's out there.
Exactly.
And then dive deeper into the studies that are the most relevant, the ones that really interest them or challenge what they thought.
Precisely. And with tools like SciSpace's Copilot function, researchers can have this, like, back and forth dialogue with the AI.
That's cool.
Asking follow-up questions, exploring different angles, and really getting into the nitty-gritty of the research.
It's like having this super-powered research partner who can process tons of information and also help you understand it all.
Exactly. It's incredible to think about what's possible. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the good stuff.
Yeah.
But what about the potential downsides?
Right. Are there any risks or challenges we need to think about?
Absolutely. It'd be naive to think that any new technology doesn't come with its own issues.
Yeah, for sure.
One concern is bias.
Okay.
AI algorithms are trained on data.
Right.
And if that data is biased, then the algorithm will be biased too.
That makes sense.
Which could lead to results that are skewed or even discriminatory.
Oh, wow.
We've already seen this happen in other fields. Yeah.
And it's something we really need to watch out for in research.
Yeah, we don't want to create AI tools that just make existing inequalities worse.
Exactly.
Or reinforce harmful stereotypes.
Right. So how do we address this?
Yeah. How can we make sure that these AI tools are fair, objective, and equitable?
It's a tough question, and there's no easy answer.
Right.
But one important step is to be careful about the data we use to train these algorithms.
Okay.
We need to make sure that data is diverse, representative, and doesn't have harmful biases.
That makes sense.
And we also need to come up with ways to detect and fix bias in the results that AI gives us. This might mean creating guidelines for how we choose data.
Okay.
developing new algorithms that are specifically designed to be fair,
Yeah.
and involving ethicists and social scientists in the development and use of these tools.
So it's a multifaceted approach.
It is.
We need to pay close attention to the technical stuff,
Yes.
but also to the bigger social and ethical implications.
It can't just be solved by engineers alone.
We need to bring experts from lots of different fields together to make sure that AI is developed and used responsibly and ethically.
And this is an ongoing thing, right?
It is.
As AI gets more advanced,
Yeah.
we need to keep asking ourselves these questions.
Right.
Challenge what we think and adapt how we do things to make sure these tools are being used for good.
And of course, there's that issue of relying too much on AI.
Yeah, definitely.
We can't let these tools stop us from thinking critically
Right.
and really engaging with the material.
It's tempting to think that AI can do all the thinking for us,
Yeah.
that we can just give it data and it'll give us all the answers.
Yeah.
But that's dangerous.
Yeah.
We still need to read the papers ourselves.
Yeah.
Think about the methods used, question the conclusions, and consider the bigger picture.
So it's all about finding that balance,
It is.
using the power of AI, but not forgetting about human judgment and critical thinking.
Exactly.
Hmm.
We need to train ourselves to be smart about how we use AI's results, not just passively accept everything it tells us. And I think that's a really important takeaway from our discussion today.
Yeah.
As AI becomes a bigger part of research, the role of the researcher is changing. It's not enough to just be an expert in your subject anymore.
Right.
We need to learn new skills, new ways of thinking,
Yeah.
and really understand the ethical issues around AI. So it's not just about learning to use the tools.
Right.
It's about having a whole new mindset,
Exactly.
being good with technology, but also being ethical. It's about navigating this new world with confidence, but also with awareness.
And I think the researchers who can do that,
Yeah.
who can really embrace this new way of thinking, will be the ones who make the biggest impact.
That's inspiring.
They'll be the ones asking the best questions, making the biggest discoveries, and ultimately shaping the future of research in a positive way.
That brings us back to the question we started with.
Yeah.
How do we know which AI tools are just hype and which ones are actually going to change things?
Right.
I think the answer is in how we use them, questions we ask,
Yeah.
the critical thinking we apply, and the ethical framework we build.
I completely agree. The power of these tools is really in the hands of the researchers who use them.
So to all our listeners out there who want to explore this world of AI-powered research,
Yeah.
be bold, be curious, but also be thoughtful.
That's great advice.
Experiment with these tools, see how they can improve your work, but always remember to think critically and ethically.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
The future of research is being shaped right now.
It is.
And we all have a part to play in making sure it's a good future for both science and society.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't just about being more efficient or productive.
Right.
It's about pushing the boundaries of what we know,
Yeah.
making new discoveries, and creating a better world for everyone.
What a fantastic way to wrap up our deep dive into AI-powered research.
It really was.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking. Keep exploring these tools and share what you learn with others.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of the conversation, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep pushing the boundaries of knowledge.
And as always, stay curious.